Who is Lillian Diedrichs, you ask? Mama Lillian Jacoba Diedrichs, born on the 17th of December 1925 in Red Location, New Brighton, in Gqeberha, formerly known as Port Elizabeth. During the forced removals, Mama Lillian, along with her family, was relocated to Chowderville. By the age of 13, she had to leave school to work. Started out as a domestic worker to white English employers, her employers at the time recognized her potential and taught her to type, file, and do some bookkeeping. They also encouraged her to read. As a result, their library became her school. During the 1950s, she became very active and involved in labor-related activities, particularly with the Food and Canning Workers Union. In 1954, she was among the delegates who attended the National FEDSAW Conference. Fluent in English, Afrikaans and isiXhosa, these linguistic abilities enabled her to achieve great success in her activist role. In 1956, she was elected to represent the Eastern Province Women's League to head the iconic march to the Union buildings in Pretoria to protest against the past laws. Aunt Lily, along with Mama Lillian Ngoyi, Helen Joseph, Rahima Musa, and Sophie de Bruyn, formed the front row of about 20,000 women who participated in the march. After a protest march against the mayor of the then Port Elizabeth in 1956, Mama Lillian was arrested for treason, along with Frances Bard, Florence Matomela, and various other women. They were imprisoned at the Fort Prison in Johannesburg and were acquitted in 1961. For a long time, Mama Lillian went underground, and during this period, she worked as a domestic worker in Cape Town. During a stint underground, she was together with Govan Mbeki and Umbrey Raymond Mhlaba. Her political activities were recognized with an award in 1996, presented to her by the late former President Nelson Mandela at the same Union buildings where she and her fellow protesters were turned away 40 years prior. In 2011, she and other struggle heroes were honored by the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality. In 2018, President Cyril Ramaphosa presented her with the Order of Luthuli in silver, the highest national order which the country bestows upon its citizens. Today, the State House in Bisho, which is the seat of Eastern Cape Provincial Government, is being renamed after Mama Lillian Diedrichs in recognition of her contribution to the liberation of our country. Halala Mbokodo, halala. Today, we stand on your giant shoulders and enjoy the freedom you fought for. We honor you for your selflessness and will forever cherish you for sacrificing your life in the name of liberation for your people. This is your legacy, and we intend to keep it alive in our deeds and our way of life, building the Eastern Cape that you and other struggle stalwarts dreamed of and fought hard for. Building the Eastern Cape we want.
Welcome to this week's episode of Amaqhawe, Ethu, the TV show. This is a TV show, an initiative of Mpumakapa TV and Amaqhawe Ethu Foundation. My name is Fundiswa Skweya Kushu. I'm a researcher and also a facilitator for this particular program today. Today we discuss a very important woman, a leader of the 1956 March, an organizer of the 1956 March and a leader who was on the front of the march next to Mamu Lillian Ngoyi, next to Mamu Sophie de Bruyn, next to Fatima Meer. Today we discuss this important woman who has also been part of founding of the Federation of South African Women, who has also been part of drafting of the Women's Charter that we so enjoy today as part of our laws in capacitating women and ensuring women empowerment. Today with us on studio, we are joined by Mam Nondwe Mangahla from New Brighton, who has been a family friend to Mam Lillian Diedrichs, and also Mam Eugene Johnson, who is a speaker of the council and also one of what I would call a mentee, someone who's been very much fortunate to spend a lot of time with Mam Lillian Diedrichs and shaped by her leadership into becoming a leader. So today, as we're discussing this important woman that has shaped the course of women within our country, first let's start with when you think of Mam Lillian Diedrichs, why do you think she was such an important figure of our let's say of our history, and also of our history against the apartheid regime? What would you say, Mam Eugene? Let me start with you.
Look, when Ma Lily, I think she was born with it. You know, to defend the defenseless.
Yes.
You basically do it from small when you grow up.
Yes.
You fight for those who cannot fight for yourself. You go into the workplace. You go into school, you do the same. You go into your workplace. And I think hence, that's why she was a trade unionist.
Yes.
Because remember, there you are elected as a substitute. You fight for workers, unfairly treated, and you represent them. And once that is within you, it does not go away. And I think that has made her to challenge, to take on any challenge, whether it's against the apartheid government, whether it was against the employers.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who it was. When she saw something is not fair,
Yes.
and remember, apartheid was not fair to our people.
Yeah.
It was brutal. It was unjust. And I think that is the reason why she could have the guts and the courage to fight the apartheid laws.
Fantastic. Okay. Mama Nkahla, let me come to you. Let's start at the beginning, you know. Mam Lillian Diedrichs, where she was born, you know, ngicela siqale ukuthi uphuma phi Mam Lillian Diedrichs as ubuntwana, and njengoba nje uphuma kule ndawo imshape njani political life yakhe, indawo aphuma kuyo yenze njani ukuthi abe conscious?
Usisilile njengoba bendisithi uzelelwe elalini eBungu. Apho kodwa babehlala khona, babehlala kwaBlock 54. Ekwindawo kwakuthiwa Sisvrand. And then usisilile ke anyabani abayindlu yakwamamakhe eyayisesicottage. There was kwakwi-portion phaa eNew Brighton engasepakeni kule oval, i-New Brighton oval. Look, yayakhiwe le, I understand, for because there are few houses, akho zindlu zininzi. Yayakhelelwe iAmaqhawe ngelo xesha. Kodwa ke nakazange ahlale phaa. Wahlala eSvrand kwaBlock 54, wakhulela khona. Ingathi wakukho wamfunda nenansi kanti ngebekho screech ngoko. Daba sub A sub ntoni na, because ebekwazi ubhala isiXhosa, ebekwazi uthetha isiXhosa. Noba uthi untsongothile ngexesha usisilili iyakulungisa kwisiXhosa naso. Usisilili waphuma apho ke ngoku uthe bawuswa noma anti wakhe bawuswa ke eCostini. Kulapho ke ngoku a-acte khona kakuhle ipolitics zakhe. Wangumuntu ke ngoku opopular nzaba, wangumuntu obalulekileyo. Noba kuthethwa ntoni na, wabaluleka. Kuthethwe ngamapasi, kuthethwe iDiedrichs, kuthethwe nge-movie, kuthiwa Move Away.
Stay away.
Stay away, ngaphandle kwe-stay away. Ikhona laa ndawo kokumovusha abantu kuthiwa
Forced removals.
Ke forced removals. Uyamfumana usisilili naye. He was the part of the forced removals. But kodwa ke walaa nto yena wakhetha uhamba no-anti wakhe. Akabi nandlu yakhe eCostini because she's not married.
Yes. So Mama, do you think ukuthi le life yosuka elokishini as forced removals nge-1940s ne zosuka eNew Brighton bawuhlala eCostini as amaladi kohlulwa abantu abamnyama namakhaladi, do you think ukuthi ishapile indlela abeyiyo? Because uMam Lili, though elikhaladi buba ngathi usithetha isiXhosa ngqo, uyakwazi nokuthi xa sencokola athini ndinzule, uyakwazi nothetha ne-Afrikaans ulapha, you know. Do you think imshapile laa nto to be umuntu okwaziyo politically organizer?
imshape kakuhle usisile. Imshape because njengoba ke engumuntu othetha ke linguist ngisho ngokweni othetha zonke ilwimi bengaboyika abantu ebengena endlini yomuntu uyawuva umuntu uqatha ephuma endlini nami kodwa ebengamoyiki and abengekho umuntu uchasene naye up to kuba azosetlisha ke ngokuba abe mdala even naphaya elanto ke nelanto eGavendale la ndawo ehlala kwi Costing Shorter Township le aphaya Shorter Township usisilile wayithandwa gqithi ebesithi xa kuza amapolisa ebekwazi ubalekela kwi-next door ingathi hayi ebalekele next door and afuna indawo yokuphumela aphumele abashiya there was once washiya bephunga etafuleni bephunga etafuleni wathi man shame kudala nivukile khame ndinenzele ikamikizi yekofu wayinamaqhinga kanti by that time uvula ifestiri uthathe ijezi yakhe wayithi tyunge efestiri wazisa ikofu kubo bangomisiza besa sizohamba madoda wabamba lo kofu waphuma ngefestiri wemka usisilile bangazange bamfumane kwade kwa yonke into had been lifted up like inansika yakodwa hayi kukhululekile bazumfumana ke ngosokhululekile bengenakho into okwenza ngayo
hayi siyabulela mama masikhe siye breaking kancinci siyabulela ngale information ebaleke kangaka nezi story ezihlekisayo ngoku apha e-studio siyabulela mama masikhe siye breaking kancinci ngoku remember ne ndiyakhumbula ukuthi ngobe sithethe njengoba sithetha awuthethe ngokuthi umama Lillian waye multilingual wayethetha languages ezi-different wayethetha isiXhosa ethetha i-Afrikaans ethetha i-English elunga naphi na so xana ndijonga as forced removals zabo zange-1940s besuswa elalini ebomvu besiwe Costin bengamakhaladi asicingi into yoba zibe nento ezidlalileyo kuye ukuthi abe political zimenze ukuthi afune ukuyi-challenge le system yohlula abantu yohlula amakhaladi namaXhosa apha eBhayi.
Ndiyacinga uba le system ufune ukuyi-challenge during the time yena ebesebenza as factory apho ke bebegubunye nabantu abantsundu namakhaladi nabelungu ndicinga
Okay, enkosi mama. And then we move to life kaMama Lillian Diedrichs because as a younger generation, I had no idea that someone of that stature existed in my very own hometown in Port Elizabeth. When I first heard or saw her name was in England as I was researching for my master's degree. I saw some of the original papers from the, let's rather say, from the conference of the Federation of South African Women. And I saw this name and I thought this name sounds familiar. I've heard a few people talk about her. I saw that she was enlisted there as one of the leaders of the Federation of South African Women, which was more of a multicultural and a non-racial movement of women. Xana nicinga, what was really her role in establishing the Federation? And how did she come about to be involved in that work, in that important and momentous work that we've seen?
Ndicinga uba usisilili wathi uzakwazi udibana nabantu. It's still through inansika i-unions. Zizo ke zamenza uba the little knowledge anayo yomXhosa say and then early colored yena. Plus wawusebenza factory mixed with wawusebenza as factory apho kadibene khona ke nabantu abaninzi colored amaXhosa Indians and the other nansika ke abelungu.
Fantastic. Ms. Johnson, do you want to add something?
Yeah, look, in the trade unions, people were taught to organize. Hence, you would find officials of trade unions are called organizers. And I think because of that aspect,
yes,
Mama Lillian was utilized and was approached by women to organize because it's not easy to organize because you must persuade women to believe in what you believe, and that take courage. And I must say that I think also because Mama Lillian had the courage to do what she did, because it's not easy. Remember, at the time you had a brutal system.
Yes.
The apartheid system was a brutal system. They didn't care they would lock you up. They would arrest you. They'll take you away from your family.
Yes.
And for you to be in a position to do what you do, you have to have courage.
Yes.
And you must be determined, and you must pay the price.
Yes.
Because for all of these commitments and everything that you want to achieve, you have to pay a price. And I think Ma Lillian was prepared to pay the price.
Wow.
Because ultimately you take a decision, you say, all right, I'm prepared to pay the price. I'll go to jail if it so happens. But I think it's, and Mam Nondo is quite correct, I think it's the trade union background that assisted her. Because remember, trade unions were also banned.
Yes.
You could not organize even in trade unions. It was taboo. And people were scared. And you needed women to do that. And I think that's the reason why Ma Lillian was approached, because even if you look at the type of lifestyle she had, she was not scared.
Yes.
What you see was what you get.
Yes.
If she wants to say something, she say it.
Yes.
And she get it over and done with, and whether you like it or not, she has said it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, for the benefit of the viewer at home, the Federation of South African Women was the organizing structure which organized the 1956 march. And Mama Lillian Diedriks was among the women who actually founded the Federation of South African Women. And they were the ones who organized the 1956 march. Mama Lillian representing the Eastern Cape at the time as nominated by Mama Frances Bart. And she came to be the organizer of the march of and leading the march actually of 1956 in August 9 in Pretoria. Now let's move to the march itself. Let's move to that historic day, to that iconic day that women in South Africa, it's considered in this country to be one of the largest marches to have been undertaken by women in this country till today, which happened in 1956 on the 9th of August to Pretoria, to the Union Buildings. Now let's look at, maybe you can walk us through what is it that Mama Lillian and other organizers did to organize the march secretly in Port Elizabeth and taking the women to Pretoria, ensuring that as Eastern Cape women, though I was not there, we were represented at the march.
Yeah, yeah.
We can start with Ms. Johnson on that one.
No, if you look at the history, as I indicated, it was not easy. It had to be done undercover and underground. And when Mama Lillian told us the story that they sold cookies to mobilize, to pay for women, because remember, it's 20,000 women, and it was basically divided into the various provinces. So each province had to take an amount of women to the march.
Yes.
So you have to pay for that woman. You have to see that they eat. You have to ensure that they are transported. And they sold cookies, they raised funds, and surely some even gave out of their monies, of the personal accounts, they gave monies to pay for women, you know, and because they had to pick up, they went by train, and train was surely the cheapest at the time. So they put women on the train. When they get to the next station, they would pick up women. But you don't just take that women and put them on a train and take them to a march. You must feed them.
Yes.
And I think, and for that you need money.
Yes.
And for that you need to convince even women to plow into that.
Yes.
Because you have to speak to say buy from us. And I think maybe that's the reason why they sold the cookies. They raised funds and to do that. Unlike today, people are relying on sponsors instead of
Yes.
raising funds themselves. But that is what they did. They sold, they baked, they sell, they bake, they sell. Because you must also remember, surely they were not even sure how many women would get onto the
Yes.
train.
Yes.
Because you would get that others that would just would be there, by the way, that would get on. So in order to feed them and to sustain them for that 2 days, 3 days, it costed money.
That is interesting because you can only imagine how mobilizing women, 20,000 women without social media. And
Sure.
at the time, African people did not have media or a voice or a platform
was
of
word
their
of
own.
mouth, yes.
Yes. A platform of their own to actually spread the message, to get out
Yeah.
there for women to actually attend the march. Fascinating. Now, Mam Nondwe, I would, as someone that has actually spent significant time with Mam Lillian and who has actually known her since the time of repression, ndicela ukustarte through ukuthi, in terms of the leadership that abafazi, because Mam Lillian was a leader in terms of, was a unionist and was a leader within the unions, and that's how she got into politics, which you have mentioned. And ngoku masijonge ukuthi ngelaa xesha nina naleadership, because my generation sinayo ingxaki thina yoba there is patriarchy that we're dealing with, ucalucalulo ngokobufazi. Nina ngelaa xesha lomama uLillian Diedricks, indaba yokucalucalulwa as ubufazi apha kwipolitiki into benidila njani nayo ukwenza sure ukuthi you stamp your authority and you stamp your position as a woman that ndiyabelong apha nam mele ngibe lapha. Nizibeka kanjani kwabantu abangutata ukuthi ba-understand ukuthi benilapha nani, benizibeka kanjani ngelaa xesha ubabonisa uba sikhona?
Sisebenzisa i-youth league. So i-youth league ke yiyo ke ibisidibanisa kunye nomama women's league. And then, I mean, once we're grouping each other. Sigroupisha like women. We say women, people are married.
Yes.
And then we say girls, people who are not married, call them youth. So besigejana nabo ngolo hlobo. Then ke ngoku if you are mhlambi uthapha kwi youth yakho mhlambi wagqama ke nge-leadership, it's where ke ngoku be ungenelele komama.
Okay. Hayi siyava mama siyava. Masikhabe siyibamba apho ngokwangoku sophinda siyigqibezele le ndawo. Ngicela uyibambe la point khona apho siya khona. Welcome back from the ad break. With us we have Umamu Nondwe Mankahla and Umamu Eugene Johnson, who has joined us to discuss the life and the times of Umama Lillian Diedricks, who was one of the founders of the Federation of South African Women, which was an organization that developed the Women's Charter and also organized the 1956 March. Mama Lillian was also one of the leaders of the 1956 March. As we were speaking before the break, Mama, we were talking about patriarchy within the political organization. Bensithi mama apho ngokusithetha ukuthi ngexesha lenu thina as lethu generation sina ingxakana xa ungena kwinto yepolitiki ukuthi abantu abangamadoda babe nocalucalulo. Nina ningabafazi ngelaa xesha lenu benihandlisha njani nomama uLillian Diedricks indaba yocalucalulo apha kwipolitiki, nicalucalulwe ngabantu abangamadoda?
Ndandingaliboni ucalucalulo more than ntoba sinalanto ezingqondweni thina abantu bantsundu, umuntu oyindoda soloko on top. So sasingakwazi ke ngokuyibona into yoba i-wrong into yoba ibe nguye i-leader or umuntu ongumama abe-leader, sasingaboni njalo.
Oh, so ke ngeli xesha having omama uLillian Diedricks developed i-charter yango-1954, i-Women's Charter as a Federation of South African Women. Would you ngengqondo yakho ucinga into yoba xa uyijonga wena le ndaba yabo lo mgama abahambileyo yosidevelopela i-charter isincedile thina xa sesingena as lethu generation, because thina ngoku siyakwazi ulimanage ucalucalulo, and also given le nto yoba i-charter yabo eyasihambela phambili ngoku kwimithetho ethi nathi masilidishe, nathi masifumane equal opportunities. Xa uyijonga, do you think ezaa zinto zasenziwa ngomama uLillian Diedricks zisincedile ukuthi sifikelele apho?
Zincede kakhulu.
Mama.
Zincede kakhulu.
ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi
nikwazi into banani nibe zilithatha leadership ningomama bake kuqala it was not common ukuthi into umuntu obhinqeleyo aleadshe organization even a church it wasn't easy but ke since after women's league I would say iqhekezile lonto leyo it's lula it's easy ngoku ku easy ba umuntu abe leader yecawa up to a bishop no nansi ka no mama abe leader ye organization up to a president let alone that ba I president singeka binayo yo mama ye organizations but it's moving.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we are moving now a bit in terms of I understand that Ms. Johnson, you spent more time with Umamu Lillian after the march, you know, after the unbanning of political movements. So what would you say was Umama Lillian in society after the march? What was her political life like after the march, and what were some of the political activities that you can remember that have shaped you as a person and also shaped her community, given her impact as a leader that has been a national leader by that time?
Look, as I've indicated before, Fundi, that she lived amongst the people. I think that's where we start.
Yes.
It's either you live with the people or you move away from them.
Yes.
And what she did successfully was to remain amongst the people. So now when you live amongst people, they have access to you.
Yes.
So now what we did, because we had access to her, we could tap in on the skills that she attained and the experiences that she could share with us of how she managed to go through her political life.
Yes.
From where they started to when before she died.
Yes.
And I think what really stood out for me
Yes.
is that, look, we can do it as women.
Yes.
And we do not have to depend on men.
Yes.
You know, for positions or even to say what we want to say or for leadership. And but surely you must be worthy of it.
Yes.
And I think that is what she taught us, that look, patriarchy is there, but as a woman you should show that you're worthy of leading. And that must be based on integrity, discipline, but as well you must have, and maybe it's because of a background,
Yes.
It was a background of struggle, and you had to stand for what you believe in. She taught us that.
Yes.
She said, look, stand for your cause. Be honest all the time, but also be worthy of being elected or being nominated or even be worthy to lead.
Yes.
Because to lead, because you're a woman, it's another thing. But to be worthy to lead is another thing. And that is what she taught us. Hence, and I think there's a video about her where she says, be dependent. Don't rely on men. Stand up for the cause. If you're right, put your position. State it clearly. Be honest in what you are doing. And stand for the cause. And always remember, it's not about yourself. It's about people.
Fantastic. Those are very profound words from her. Because it's a very important debate that when we're speaking about women empowerment, we understand that we're not tokens. We're not just placed there as tokens that are just going to be one woman amongst men, you know. Because when you speak like that, when what she has taught you, it's encouraging to so many young women to understand that being a woman is not enough. You also have to be capable. You also have to prove yourself that you deserve to be here. Fantastic. Now, as we move along, let's look at the life Mama Lillian Dietrichs, Mama. I remember there are so many fun stories that you tell Mama Lillian Dietrichs and how she looked indlela ebebagada ngayo abantwana bama comrade akhe xa bebanjiwe. After egqibile yonke lento yemarch ngeli xesha naye sefunwa for elityala le-treason accused because of having led the march and having organized the march, and how abantwana bama-comrade xana bebanjiwe ama-comrade, how she would assist abafide abe-caregiver and be supportive to the family of i-comrades ezibanjiweyo at that time. Ndicela ukusixelele nje ngelaa cala lakhe, because when you understand it, I remember esi story ndandisiva kuwe, you know.
Usisilili, so indlela endibiza ngaye nje usisilili, oh wayeluncedo kakhulu. And kungekho easy, kungekho lula into wamakancede, kodwa ke wayezenza imeans. Ngulo ndithi ngexesha bekhaya bengumtshakazi, angene elokishini engumtshakazi omfazi osanda ukuthwalwa, oneqhiya emnyama zingabonakali inwele, onelokhu ezinde.
As disguiser, ma'am.
A disguiser, so that she can go in, because she wouldn't allow into makangene elokishini ngenxeni yenantsika, ngenxeni yepass permit. Babefuneka afuna ipermit angazi kuyinikwa, like noba unoyifuna ipermit bengazuyinika, because the way ke beorganize ngayo i-pass food parcels andinakuyazi, kodwa ke ukhona unkosikazi endimaziyo endabanjwa sele kasekho kakhulu, uMrs Levy.
Ma'am.
Mrs Levy naye wayencedisa uSisi Levy, naye zange abanjwe uMrs Levy. So ke bencedisa uSisi Levy, beorganize some things. Sisi Levy organize how to anika abantwana bama-comrades.
Mama ndiyakhumbula uba kwezi stories zenu, I'm not sure, I think it's you, Ma'am Johnson, that spoke about how she took care of the family of Omrei when he was in prison.
Yeah, she relayed that interesting story to us.
Yes.
How she, when Omrei was in jail,
Yes.
she had to go and take instructions from Omrei. Omrei would phone her to take money to the children, pay some of the school fees,
Yes.
take food, and she would do it. And she would go back to him to report to him, this is what she's done. She took care of them. And I think because Anneli had the heart.
Yes.
She was what she was. And I think it's the ANC that it's one of the core values of the ANC. It's a caring organization. Yes. And unless you have compassion with people, you will never take care of other people's children. And because your child is my child.
Yes.
And I think ANC has taught her that. And we really look up to women of the 1950s, 60s, who marched, because they taught us just how to care and how to be kind. It's deeds of kindness that we have to show, because I think that is what attracts people to us and to them, because they took care of those marchers. They fed them out of their pockets. They raised funds so that they could eat. And I think it's even then this caring aspect for others and people started to grow stronger amongst the women of then, but even the women of now. I remember when someone died in Helenvale, for example, we had to bring groceries. The one brought cabbage, others salt, but everybody brought something. And Lily was one of them. Take something, care for others. And she taught us that when she spoke to some of us, and whether it was in a house, or whether it was in a meeting, or whether it was at a workshop, she would bring the aspect of caring for people out to us so that we can understand, look, it's not about you live for others. You get so that you can give.
Yes.
You know, you are blessed to be a blessing. Yes. And I think that is what, and for that we really, even today when we speak about her, we salute her. Because when you come into a house, she would offer you something.
Yes.
And she lived alone. I mean, she didn't have someone that took care of her.
Yes.
She stayed there, Mama Nondwer, if we can remember. We went to her house once and she was all on her own. And we even brought some stuff, and then she says, no, she'll make sure that we eat, and that's who she was. I think it's
Exactly.
because she was a caring person.
Exactly. Fantastic. You know, Mam Nondwe, there is a story. I remember the last time I sat with her and yourself, just before she passed, before Aswele Kumama, Umama Tetrix. There's a story, now that ubuthetha ngento ye disguise. There's a story apho sasekapa elibeli disguise. Kwafika ipolisa efunwa ngamapolisa for a treason. Ndicela usibalise lesa story because that would be a very interesting story.
If bandisasikhumbula
Esinye stuff.
bandisasikhumbula kuba ke lo muntu elipolisi laqwalasela phaa ezantsi babunezigweqe but ke since iinantsika zakhe iilokhwe zakhe zazinde for disguise zange akwazi balithi kuye kakuhle.
Ikhona esa story, if I just to
remind.
ukumbuza nje mama, there is this story apho wadibana nepolisa eCape Town.
Okay.
Elipolisa ulibeli disguise ngale mina kayifakanga and elipolisa xa
Lathi-
lijonga lithi kunini ndikufuna, if I arrest you today I am telling you I'll get my promotion, I'll finally get my promotion. uLillian Dietrich started, umama uLillian started flirting nelipolisa, waflirta nelipolisa so that lide licela numbers, wamnika inumber wrong, lamiyeka wahamba wabaleka apha kabanjwa.
Baphinda ba
Mama, sizawumuva ngoku, sizawumuva kancinci sikhe siye sisiye emaphethelweni, masikhe sithethe ngelegacy yakhe as a person, you know. We're talking about a woman that has contributed to the Women's Charter, which is now has been integrated into the Bill of Rights in terms of our Constitution. Because we're not talking about just an ordinary activist, we're talking about an activist that has ingrained certain, whose actions have actually left something in our country, to an extent that the very same meeting in which she was organizing, which is the launch of the Federation of the South African Women, actually led to the birth of the Women's Charter, which is now integrated into the Constitution. And the same Women's Charter, which has shaped our laws, because our laws in the world, they're considered one of the most gender-sensitive constitutions in the world. Now, when we are looking at this woman, as much as we can tell the tangible legacy that she has left behind, I wish that we can, Mam Johnson, you've touched on the lessons that she has taught you personally in terms of giving, but maybe in terms of women in general, what would we say is her legacy in short? What is the legacy of Lillian Dietrich in short, so that the viewer at home can understand who Lillian Dietrich was? Usishiyele ntoni, ngeziphi into asishiye nazo apha before ahambe mama?
ushiye nobuntu nokwazi umuntu umuntu makafane naye.
Yes.
So akwazi uba amazi uba umuntu uyatya njengoba naye sitya, lengathanda ukutya yedwa. In fact ke singathi ukutya I mean whatever azayithetha, she likes to share xa ethetha.
And Ma'am Johnson, how did she inspire your activism and your leadership as a woman?
Look, you have people that change themselves.
Yes.
They change others in their families. But then you have people that can change the world.
Yes.
And Mama Lillian has made a difference not only in the country, but in the world, in terms of transforming society.
Wow.
Because to stand for justice,
Yes.
it's not an easy task.
Yes.
It takes courage. Because even though today you are not jailed, you are not jailed today if you stand for justice and for what is right, but you are marginalized. And you can be persecuted for
Yes.
that. And amidst all that, she just showed me and taught me, and that is what I stand on. When you stand for justice, the truth does not need support. It stands on its own. And if you stand for truth and justice, can never go wrong. Righteousness and justice always wins in the end. And that's what he taught me. That stand for what is right, because they can all of them can be against you. But in the end, it defends itself. Truth defends itself, and justice.
Interesting. Actually, as we heading towards the end, looking at her lessons and what she has taught you as those who have grown under her wings, who have grown up in the political ranks under her leadership and under her stewardship. I'm thinking to myself, if I were to talk to a young woman, let's say a 13-year-old, sitting somewhere in Helenvale or in Galvindale or in New Brighton or in Zweden, looking around them and seeing all these challenges that women are faced with, and they aspire to lead, what would you think Mama Lillian's life stood for that would teach that woman the courage to see that they can do it as well?
Avail yourself. It all starts by availing yourself and be willing, because you must have the will to do it. And Lily, because remember, we struggle to get women involved in the northern areas, especially in the Chetty area, Bloemendal, and other areas, Galvindale, Ellenvale, Parkside. And you had women who had to say, I'm willing, I'm prepared. You would say to them, if you are willing and you avail yourself, because today you have a problem with volunteerism.
Yes.
Avail yourself and be willing to learn, and then you can achieve anything.
Fantastic.
Nothing is impossible.
Fantastic.
For those who believe, they can.
Mama, ndifuna ukhe ndinibuze apha kuwe kancinci, I think you were very fortunate because you were much younger kuno Mam Lily, and you were flanked by these women that have led this nation and taken this nation forward. I remember part of your life also, you spent time in jail, no Mama Winnie Mandela. You know? How have those women shaped you as a person and as a leader in your community?
Oh, andikwazi ukuthi ndizakwenza kanjani, kodwa ke I feel proud for myself uba ndithahlale lo minyaka ingako ejele ndishiya abantwana ngasemva nabo bashiya abantwana ngokwabo, because sometimes in the evening we have started to chat underneath where the flat lie.
Yes.
That's in front of your door if you want to say something, if you want them to know who you are, where do you come from. So you lie flat, and then she also lie flat on the other side. Then again when you speak.
Yes.
Sometimes, but they say don't speak because there are some pimp, but also let me just tell them.
Okay, Mama. Now, as ngokusivala, apha eqaleni sikhe sayimention ukuthi uMama uLili ngoyena ingathi asikamcelebrate kakhulu. For ukumcelebrate kakhulu, what do you think could be done? Singathini, just a minute each.
Ndiyacinga uba mhlawumbi, you know that she's got a statue? Do you know that?
Oh, a bishop.
No, a bishop, and here in Nantika, in
Bristol House.
In Bristol House, and in, what is that, those graves? Zapa a costume.
Heroes Acre.
Not Heroes Acre. She's got a Hero Acre herself.
A Chetty, Bethelsdorp grave.
Inside the
Siyeke, Mama.
ingaphakathi eyadini.
Yes.
But they've got a
Ndiyayibona,
big,
mama.
yeah.
Ndiyayibona.
So yeyona nto yandivisa
Kakhulu
kamandi kulaa nto kumakhenkesi kwipremier yethu.
Yes,
Ndade
yes.
ndatsho ndathi yho hayi mntanam ingathi ndingalala ndixolile. Isoloko into kaSisilili not being recognized isoloko indilaa nto indikhathaza. Uba ngaya angapha uSisilili akavakali, uba ngaya eBhisho uSisilili akavakali. Since then ngoku sikhona naselaa nto
Nasebhisho, mama.
sikhona nalapha kuthi. Yabona, so ndaqoma ke makhenkesi, we have done my hope because I've been
Yes.
hoping that things that our comrades they know that you can speak to them uthethe nabo babethuna singamenzela ntoni uSisilili.
Hayi siyabulela mama sesifikelele ekupheleni.
Okay.
As sivala, what I would like to say is that Lillian Dietrich may not have sought fame, but her courage, leadership shaped our history. We owe it to women like her and to ourselves to remember her not just as a leader of the 1956 march, but as a rock on which our freedom stands. As we close this, may we listen to the audio which she advises us as young women on how we could take forward the struggle against gender-based violence. May imbokodo yethu, may iqhawekazi lethu Lillian Dietrich rest in peace. Thank you so much, Mam Nondo, for joining us today. It was quite a pleasure and an honor. And thank you, Mam Johnson, for sharing your insights and your experiences with Mam Lillian Dietrich. And thank you so much at home for joining us this evening. It's been such a pleasure to be with you and to facilitate this discussion. As ufundi, ndimkile enkosi.
At this time, women must really get up, get up, but practice too much. Andinawuthi kuba kuphangela le ndoda ndandihleliswe yile ndihlaliswe yile ndoda apha. Not taking power into their own hands and become strong enough. Like I would say, I had 3 children. Wafalo, I had read 2. Bakhulisile without support. Sendot. Ndibakhulise bobabini dabanika imfundo. The eldest went to Cape Town, take up nursing. This little one finished it off, the youngest. We are pensioner, Namgo. Yeah. Women gave away amandla, leaning on men, whereas they have their own strength to get up, do things for themselves. Qeqesha abantwana bakho. Noba wena akuna ngqeqesho. Do it. Fundisa. Tell your kids. Oh, Boba. Life is yours. Yeah. Work for it. Do it the slim way. You can do it. If I could raise you, you can raise your children and lift yourself up. Ama no shukene. That was something I think I said it in the Muslim Institute. Amandla, you've got it. No shukene. From being a human being. Men have got this, you got that. That was it.
Different gender.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Just one question, just last. As young activists, Amaqhawe in the movement. These days we celebrate August 9. How do you see, and how would you like to be celebrated or remembered as Mamu Dietrich?
Inzima ngeli, because my saying and asking would be taking it from me. Don't look around. Look in front of you. See what is there for you to do to uplift, even if you are a mother of 6, 10 children. You can do it, but you must have your children. As they say, you have all your chicks together. At this age, I become very anxious and cross at the same time when I see women being trampled by their partners. There are so many partners, but if you are not that multi-ndoni partners, work for yourself and your children. Dizamile. And there is no person on this earth who is better and brighter than the light skin, black skin, dark skin. The inside of everybody is the same.